What's going on, everybody? Hope you're doing well. Doing pretty good. Had a great day. Um, this is an odd time for me to be on. Holy cow. Um, but I had stated before that we were going to do some extra streams this week because I was watching. Yep, there we go. Doing the audio check there. Sorry. We were watching our trends in our handy dandy YouTube app, and it looked as though we were going to hit 1,000 subscribers on Saturday. So I wanted to kind of do a lead up to that moment, and didn't work out as we planned because I received notification today that we did in fact cross the 1K border this afternoon. Um, that is awesome. That is incredible. And I can remember back when I only had, under 100 subscribers, and it was such a hill. It's like, oh my goodness. And I would do streams, and, I'd put a video out, and then the next day I'd look and it was still the same. And I'm like, oh my gosh, what am I doing? And there were questions. What's up there, John? How are you, buddy? Hey, old man's here too. Thank you. Yes, I'm excited. Um, there were a lot of times when I was like, I don't know. I looked it up just to make sure I got the numbers correct. 90 to 95% of channels created on YouTube do not make it to that 1,000 subscriber mark. Before they get there, something happens. In most cases, people just get a little overwhelmed or discouraged, and they walk away. And trust me, I can understand why. But some of us are dedicated to it, and we want to fight through it, and we walk the hard path, and here we are. But anyway, so tonight we're actually not doing young sir. I am not. Oh, I am not. I'm not young. Um, but thank you. So tonight, since this is an off time and we're not, required to be doing, hey, Shy, how are you? Good to see you. We're actually going to cover what we do to make a video. Um, a lot of people will log into YouTube, they'll watch other stuff, they'll see things, and they envision this huge, look at like the Mr. Beast stuff, you see this ginormous cruise and all these people and everything, and it shows because they put out really good videos, really good content, really good quality. But honestly, a little dingleberry sitting alone in his room can do pretty good for himself. And if you've ever thought about maybe doing your own channel, but you didn't know what it entails or whether you could even do it, this part I'm going to kind of show you what I do, how I do it, and what it involves. And it's honestly, it's hard, but it's not that hard. It's not out of reach, especially if you really want to do it. So if you remember and you were watching yesterday, we did a stream and I said what I was going to do was the software I use to stream with is called OBS Studio. And it has an option. I'm going to point at it because you guys can't see that, but in my head it works. I have the like stop streaming, start streaming, etc. And there's a button there for start recording. I don't use that very often. And I think I might, but I don't use OBS because I didn't know whether or not I could run the game, run the stream, and record it all at the same time. Doing this requires a pretty hefty computer. You got to kind of have one built. What was mine? Mine's I got a Ryzen 7 5800. I got 50 gigabytes of RAM, and I've got an NVIDIA RTX. What do I have? Yeah, I have a 3060, and it's getting the job done. It could be better, but memory is going to be the huge thing. This computer that I use, I was talking yesterday about how much I appreciate you guys, and I totally do. You done clacking around there, buddy? And I really do. And you're the people that I do this for. But I think the most credit I need to give is to the family. Uh, they have supported me in doing this right from the start. And, there's been times where because I committed to streaming at a certain time, I didn't get to do something, or we had to kind of maneuver schedules around. And I told Mrs. Rabbit that if there's something that she wants to do, as long as she gives me enough notice, I can try to, manu- try to maneuver things around, and we make it work. And she didn't have to. This is something I wanted to do, and she supported me through it. My son supported me through it, both of them. So, they're number one. And the computer I'm using, I used to do this on a much weaker computer. It was the only one we had. And a couple years ago for Christmas, they put together this system. We bought it in parts and put it all together. And it's been getting the job done. My old computer, when I would try to process a video that was like 8 to 10 minutes, it would take 35 to 40 minutes. I would click on it to publish and it would render it. And then I'd leave, I'd walk away. We'd go eat dinner, go do something else. And then when I would come back, it would be done and then I could upload it. The system I have now, same amount of time, it'll get it done in like 4 minutes. So, they did their homework and they did really good. And Rabbit Jr. Yep. He was the superstar in there because Mrs. Rabbit went to him and was like, yo, he needs a better computer. What should we get? Because she doesn't know anything about this. I don't either. So, the family is number one, and I owe so much to them. But let's just get right into it. So, buying a good computer, something that can work it, is some money, some investment right there. The rest of it's going to be software. Now, OBS is free. There is a paid version that has some more options, but you don't really need them, but they are good. Don't get me wrong. But that's a free software. So once you buy the game and you buy OBS, you can stream if you have a YouTube channel. And there you go. Some people use a webcam. I didn't in the beginning, and then I decided I wanted to get one. Whether you have a faceless channel or a non or a face channel, whatever you want to do, it's personal preference. But yeah, there was no cost in streaming, and then it's just from there. It's just time and effort. What's your quality going to be like? Well, it's like any skill, you got to learn it. The next piece of software I use is this one right here. I don't know if you could see it. It's called DaVinci Resolve. This is also free. There is a paid version, and the paid version can do tons of incredible stuff. But even this free version is phenomenal. Everything that you've ever seen that I've made video-wise, like not the streams, but the videos, buddy, you gotta figure it out, man. Everything I've done on this program, and it hasn't cost me anything. You'll see here some of these, like you can't park there. When I did the video about the guy who left that. Server closings. There's some projects here that are still running, some that I don't do anymore. You can see Fremen Finds. That was months and months ago. But this software is incredible. And although I wanted to kind of do the whole thing with you, I did cheat a little bit. Come in here and lay down, big guy. Come on, man. I did cheat a little bit because I wanted to prep the video for editing. So I did that. So let me close the door. He's just wandering. Hey, buddy. Oh, I'm going to close the door. Okay, big guy? You good out there? Yeah, you're good out there. He is looking for his cat buddy and can't find him. So this is one of the weirdest things that happens when you start making content is the fact that I'm sitting here in this chair looking at a video of me sitting in this chair yesterday doing something, and it's very offsetting. And especially when you click like play and you're editing through and you hear yourself talking, and when you do this, you're talking to the people. But it sounds like I'm talking to myself, like literally talking to myself. It's very, it takes a while to get used to that. So I brought this video in, one that we recorded, and I showed you on there on the stream last night. I brought it in And the only thing I did was I watched it once. And I put all these little markers in here. These, normally when you first put in the video, there's nothing. These markers have no meaning beyond what you decide they mean. And I use just the color coding, and I'll explain to you what this color coding is, and then you'll understand why I did this instead of making you guys sit with this. This blue part here, this is where anything that's going to be of quality actually starts. This first portion here, you'll see I'm be talking kind of weird about it. Like, all right, guys, we're going to get this out of it. And then we go in. This red one is where there's an important area. Whether it's a transition or the whole reason I'm talking or what the video is about, something that definitely this needs to be in there and paid attention to. This one, in actuality, is the marker for where I want to cut it and put my little jackrabbit symbol in there, throw some music on it, and go to the next thing. I'm getting a phone call, my God. From nobody. It's junk. Okay. The yellow ones, which are the most prominent marker, is moments I got to get out of this video. Where I just forgot to talk, didn't say anything right, made a weird sound, did something stupid, where I don't need it in there, right? The green and the yellow are each individual moment. The green tie themselves together. And this is what I refer to as a questionable area. Do I need this section of the video in there? Because right now, whoop, I don't want that one, I want this one. Right now, this video, if I go to the end, it's 23 minutes long. I try to aim for anywhere between 8 to 12 minutes unless I'm doing a big topic. So 23 minutes, that's a lot. We've got to cut this down. Otherwise, people are going to look at it and be like, yo, I just want to learn how to C-chop, man. I'm not trying to watch a 24, 25-minute video. So that's what I've done. I went through here and I went through all this and decided, like, these are sections right here. Do I really need this? This is something I did silly, made a sound, made a weird noise. We're going to go through this together now. So I load the video in. Normally I keep that window up there small because I don't need to see it. I know what actually is going on. But are you editing a stream video or a video you recorded with the intention of editing it into a video? What I did was, okay, so there's a content creator that I watch who, it's like local news and well, not local, but global news and world news and events and things like that. And they decided to start doing a stream in the mornings. And it's right, once I get settled into work. So I have it on as background. And I watched that stream once. And then they put out several videos on hot topics throughout the course of the day. And what I noticed was, I'm like, wait, I've heard this. And I thought it was looping. What they did was they do the stream, and then they're just cutting sections out of the stream and putting them up as their own videos. That's kind of what I'm doing here. But I didn't do it like, I didn't say I'm purposely going to do this. People that might want to watch this video wouldn't have seen the stream. So this was a section of the stream that I recorded with the intent of making it into a video. And we're going to trim it down. That's what we're doing here, Shay. It's sneaky. Yeah, it can be. I honestly, like that creator with the world stuff, it has actually I still subscribe to them, but it's caused me to watch them less. If I tune in with the stream in the morning, I won't click on another video they make. I could be missing out, but most likely I'm not. So this isn't something that I would want to do on a regular basis, but I did it here just to have something to show you guys. I do have to say though, I do like the recording through OBS. Normally when I do recordings, I have shortcut keys through NVIDIA, and I can set a recording, like start it, do a bunch of stuff, and then I can shut that recording down and it'll save it, or I can do like instant replays, which will catch 3 to 5 minutes back, and I can do those. And then I just end up piecing them together. makes sense because a lot of people don't watch streams but will watch videos, but they might not want to watch 3 hour stream. That is exactly the point. And also, if you want to say I did a stream and I was like, hey, we're going to see chop, and then that was the title of the stream, and then you look at it and you're like, this is 2.5 hours of video. Where do you actually do it? Because they don't really necessarily want to see me. They just want to know, how do I do this? And also, people will Google this and it won't bring up a live stream because it's 2.5 hours, but it would bring up a video. So exactly, yeah. In as a guy who struggles mightily with the audio recording for this, it is this is actually a godsend. Knowing that at this point that the video already has the audio track on it, I'm like, oh, the hardest part is done. So I'm going to show you the first step, and we are going to, let's see, how do I do this? Yep, we're going to bring this down so that the screen's bigger, and look, you get double me's. Can I replicate the its inception? Sorry, I'm a simple man. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to push play, and you're going to see how it's obviously not something that should be in the video until we get to that blue mark. All right, so here we go. Recording now. I actually can record with through my NVIDIA setup, and I can attach the microphone, but it cancels out you guys, so you wouldn't be able to hear me if I'm doing that. So, that way. Yep, DD Caves. Okay, here we go. This is the part where a cat jumps up, or a dog. All right, what's going on, everybody? I hope you're doing well. Today I'm going to do. So you see, it was just general chatter with you guys when we were on the stream, and it's not until we get right to this point that I'm actually doing what the video would do. And I always have that lead in with the hope you're doing well, and I do. I actually hope you're doing well. So what I want to do is go backwards up until I get to that point, and this program, you can actually put videos and play them backwards, and it plays the audio backwards too. So right here, it's right about where I want this video to start. So up here, there's a razor blade, and it's a blade edit, basically, because this is video and it's film, you can cut it. So you cut it with a razor blade. There's a shortcut key. Somebody asked me, how come I don't use the keyboard as much, like when I'm clicking on moving inventory and stuff? Because if I just sit here and things are happening on the screen, people don't know how it's happening. So that's why I usually use those. When I'm just doing editing myself, I will use these shortcuts. This one's Control B and it makes it happen. But so if you click on this and then go right here and hit that button, now when we look, it has split that into two different clips. We can click here and hit delete, it's gone. Let's say I didn't do it right and I needed a little more. You can actually move this head back and forth to shorten or elongate that clip. So let's see where it starts now and get a little closer. What's going on, everybody? I hope you're doing well. Today I'm going to do a video. So I was close. Being this far out, it's kind of difficult to see. So we're going to zoom in, and I'm just going to move this right about there. And that's only picking up. This is a 4-second span right here. So let's see how this looks. What's going on, everybody? I hope you're doing well. Not bad. I looked a little silly in the beginning, but you know what? I'm kind of a silly looking guy, so I'm good with it. So there we go. We've got our beginning part. Normally I would move this over so that I have a correct timestamp, but I'm not going to do that now because my markers will not move with it. So I don't want to do that, because if I move it over, this will now be over here when it's supposed to be right where it is. So let's watch this and see what happens. Oh, Today I'm going to do a video about something that I have done a lot of times on my stream. I stream Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday, 6 p.m. Eastern, so if you're interested in watching. Self-promotion. I'm sorry, but we're going to start throwing them in, you know. Got to get the word out somehow. But it involves siege hopping. And at first, when I started doing siege hopping, I wasn't sure exactly what was the point. Like, why am I doing this? Like, what's the need to do that? And I've kind of gotten to a point where it's become very helpful. And I've actually been in other people's streams and in some of the comments I've seen on Reddit posts, forums, things like that. It's not something that a lot of people know about, so we're going to do a video about it today. Here we go. That's where it initiates that red stop that I put in. The reason I want to do that is we're going to do another cut right here. And now I'm actually going to move this guy by itself. When you do that, it brings the audio track that's connected to it. So it's really great to move that. And I'm going to put, if you watch my videos, you'll see where I've got like the little Jackrabbit logo, and it kind of comes in. There's a little music that'll play. So for that, I need to get that little symbol in here. So I'm going to go up here to File and Import and go to Media. And under Desktop, and I have a whole Jackrabbit Max file. And here is Splash. Splash is the Be Right Back. And I used to have one that was the silly little rabbit, and he would like spin around like a coin. This is what I use as that opener for the stream. So I'm just going to click on it one time, and it brings it up here to this media pool. You can actually scroll across it because that color changes, and you can see what effect it has. And I want to put that inside this video. I don't want to put it in here, though. I want to put it in a second row right above it. What that'll do now is, as we're talking, all of a sudden I'm going to disappear and you're going to see that little section. Things right? Like that. It's not something that a lot of people know about, so we're going to do a video about it today. Here we go. That's not good. But on here, there's several ways you can do this. What I do, because it's just a simple little animation, there's a little dot up here, this little white thing, and I'm going to slide this over. And we're going to bring it in here like that. And what this does is it slowly brings that in. The comments I've seen on Reddit posts, forums, things like that. It's not something that a lot of people know about, so we're going to do a video about it today. Here we go. Okay, so I got a little bit of a gasp in there. I don't know if you heard that as I'm getting ready to say the next thing. So what we're going to do is we're going to come back over here and we're going to select this video, and I'm going to take a little bit of time off of it. Just a bit. Boop. And that should get rid of that gasp. We'll go delete this time. Let's see how that sounds. Ready? Video about it today. Here we go. So the gasp is gone. Perfect. This is actually a little long. Normally I only have this as a few seconds. So we'll bring this in here. Do a video about it today. Here we go. That'll work. So now we have our opening. And at this point, we're going to actually start talking about what the topic, self-promotion's a must for channels to grow. It is. Honestly, it is. If you don't tell people you're out there, how do they know you're out there? If you just rely on dumb luck for them to stumble on you, it's going to take you so much longer. So much longer. Unless your content is just utterly amazing. Chances are, if you're just starting out, it won't be. You have to learn. All right, so let's see where it picks up, right? The reason that I want to siege hop is because I am looking for all of these items. These are the schematics and the uniques that you get. I was a little upset about this because I didn't think about the fact that I'm covering up most of this. And like I'm talking to you right now, but I can come over here and I can just make myself disappear, but I'm still here and I'm still talking to you. And then all of a sudden I come back. Since I've already recorded this footage, I've lost that control. So there's no way for me to move this. The only option I would have would be to try to replicate this again and put that footage above this audio track and hope that it kind of works out. It is an option, but it's a little bit of a pain in the butt. But to be honest, at this point, I think everybody's used to seeing me there, so I may not be so against that concept. We can leave it in there. Some of these I'm missing. I want to try to get them all to 100%. Luckily, a lot of them come. Luckily, I didn't try to access something in here and be like, oh, like, look at this one. And then half of it would be covered by my stupid face. From so many different places, some of them are very specific. So when you have seeing and hearing myself, you see me do the audio check where I have my little Raycon thing, not a sponsor, in there. And once I hear the stream, I usually have to take it out because it'll mess with me. Hearing myself saying something I just said a few minutes ago is weird. Usually when I'm editing, I'll just sit here and kind of, just zone out and just do it. And I'm not actually listening to myself talk. There's several layers of grading, I guess you would say. Like I'm measuring, are you speaking clear? Did that make sense? And because I'm looking at it analytically like that, I really don't notice that it's myself and that I'm talking to myself. So that's kind of how I guess I can't think about what you just asked too much because then I'll end up doing that. Specific one specifically, a testing station chest. You go through that whole testing station and there could be 5 or 6 different schematics that come out of that chest. You finish it, you go up, you open up that constellation chest, and it's not what you need. So then you're sad and you end up having to go off and do something else because that chest has a reset. We're coming up on my first yellow mark. I know what I was going for. I was kind of going for a type thing. I didn't pull it off. See what you think. Timer. Most people say it's like 45 minutes to. That just sounds dumb. I just think that sounds dumb. So I don't like it. And if I put this video out, it's going to bother me. So what I have to do is decide, how do I want to get rid of this? You can do just a straight cut where it goes, I'm going to cut before it, cut after it, and we're just going to let me kind of do a little twitch thing. Personally, like years and years ago, I wouldn't have liked that, but it's become so common and so mainstream to see those hard cuts that people don't really notice it anymore. And it's kind of gotten, acceptable the way to do it. So let's go ahead and cut that out. Okay, so that is pretty much right where we want to be. We'll zoom in. Oh, no, we'll zoom out because we're dumb. We'll zoom in, and I'm actually going to cut here and here. I'll go back to the selector, and then I'll just hit delete. I wonder if I just deleted something. Nope. Okay, good. Little misfire there. All right, we'll put that cut back in. We'll do this. We'll select it, and we'll delete it. So now that's gone. So what are we left with? Most people say it's like 45 minutes to an hour. Didn't take enough out, so we'll come back over here. And what I don't want to do is cut into that. People say it's like 35, 45 minutes, because that is actually important. Let's see how this looks. Most people say it's like 45 minutes to an hour. That's going to work great, right? So this I'm good with, and we're not good here yet. So when I do other videos, not recording like this, I'm usually moving the clips and putting them in the place and getting them right and etc. I said I didn't want to move stuff because it'll get rid of my marks, which is true. But now we're getting to the point where I can start moving it because I've done those. Hi, self, looking fine to me. Editing feeling, yeah. Yeah, it does get weird. It does. One of the best things that ever, I was working on an animation on a video, and I asked Mrs. Rabbit, I was like, come in and tell me what you think of this, because I rely on her. Hey, what's up, TV? How are you doing, bud? I rely on her to kind of get that outside opinion, and God bless her, she will tell me the truth. There's no, let's put it up on the fridge. No, she's honest. God bless her, love her for it. I hadn't recorded the audio. And I told her, I was like, I don't have the audio part in, but I'll just say it. So she sat down beside me and I clicked the button and I started playing. And as the animation was going, I was talking. And she's just sitting there and she's just watching. And then she just reached up and she's like, how do I stop this? And I was like, hit that button. So she stopped it. And she says, I can't watch this. And I'm like, why? And I'm like, oh my God, is it that bad? And she's like, it's creeping me out when you're saying things and stuff's happening on the screen, because I was sitting right beside her and saying it. And she was like, no, I can't do this. I'm not doing this now. And she wouldn't do it. So I actually had to record the audio, put it in there, and then, you know, sit there without it. That was a funny moment. Yeah. So it takes some getting used to, but you can get used to it. Okay. So like I was saying, this works. I'm glad, I'm happy with these stops. So I'm actually going to move this over. And now we're going to see how this transition works. So we're going to do a video about it today. Here we go. The reason that I want to siege hop. Okay, so I have them sitting way too close to each other. So we're going to move this out and then let's zoom in and recenter this a little bit better. And let's see how that looks. We'll know about. So we're going to do a video about it today. Here we go. The reason that I want to siege hop. So what I'm having happen here is as this is fading in and then out, you'll see the new video underneath it is coming through, and it's coming through too soon. So what I want to do, the reason that's happening is because of these lines. So I need to move. Oop, come on, man. Let's get in closer. Big old hands. I can't grab control of it because they're so close. All right, you win. I'll make you bigger. There we go. So we'll put this one here and we'll put this one here and then we'll shorten this up. That's why the shortening, when I moved it, it overwrote. Okay, so here we'll go this and we'll put it right here. This is still going to have the same problem. As that's fading out, the other video needs to fade in so that they kind of work together. So I'm going to move the slider, which is just the darkening, and let's see how this looks now. We'll back out so it's a little bigger. Okay, here we go. The reason that I want to siege hop, it's much better. There's an audio cut in there where one audio ends and the other one starts, which is a little offsetting, but I'm not going to address it because I'm going to actually separate out. There's no audio for this clip. A lot of them come from so many the logo, and I always usually put music in there. When I put that music, you'll never hear that, so it'll be fine. Behind the scenes, yep. What's going on, Odd Shoes? Good to see you, sir. 180K sand gathered so far this week. Dude, you are rocking it out, man. Holy cow. Good on you. All right, so when I went through, this was the part I didn't like. And then we're going to start right where we left off. And let's see how this goes. 45 minutes to an hour. I don't know the exact amount, but I do know that it's server side. It's not from when you opened it. It's when the server resets that chest. So if you go in there and open it, you could be 5 minutes away from it resetting, or you could be 45 minutes to an hour away. The last thing. Hey, 40K in a week's nothing to laugh at, man. You go with your badass self, and it's only Thursday. What you want to do is go through like a testing station or a crash ship or something like that and kill all those enemies and then get to the chest and it hasn't respawned yet. So me personally, I would just go off and do other things and then come back like an hour later or so. But when you get down to the point where you really only have a few items to get, it gets really annoying waiting for that amount of time. So it's like every day I can just go in and get that one item. Another thing that siege hopping is very helpful for are those resources that only come from a few spots. Specifically, we're going to talk about diamondine dust and carbide scraps, which you need for tier 6 armor equipment. Phone says I'm on 1K. Yes, sir. It's not rounding up, is it? Nope. We hit that this morning or this afternoon. I did manage to grab a screenshot of it, so I am super excited about that. But yet we're hoping to cross that line Saturday, but instead we got it today. Vehicles. They all come from this area in Misa Taril. This is a Masquerite temple. It's the one with the big electric worm. And all around this, they have different chests. Once you open them, you've got to wait for those things to respawn. Another one is over here. Oh, we went too far out. So here, I have problems finding Sentinel City. It's funny because it's right here, like not in the moment. My clarity is perfect. I don't mind that little bit of mistake because I guarantee you every one of us has probably done that. You try to find something, maybe not as important as Sentinel City since, it's pretty obvious on the map with the giant Godzilla head, but we all do it. Over here. But you'll notice we got another edit coming up where I'm not thrilled with myself. Sentinel City, sorry. There it is. This is where you go for industrial pumps. One thing about streaming and videos, silence is not a good thing. When there's moments of silence, it gets awkward. Think about like if you were hanging out with a bunch of your friends and all you're talking and everything, and then all of a sudden everybody stopped talking at once and it's just utter quiet. It's a little unnerving. So you don't want to have it. So why did I suddenly decide, hey, let's make no noise whatsoever? There it is. This is where you go for industrial pumps. So we're going to cut that little section out. And we're going to try to eliminate that pause. This will be another jump cut. So that's what it is. There it is. So that's where I said there it is. So we'll cut this out. And then we'll play. This is where you go for and that's where I say this. So let's see if we did a good job as far as spacing goes, but it's going to be hard to tell because I can't move anything this way, but I can now move this over. Oh, too far. And we can test that out so that we know it'll actually work. So let's see how this sounds. Notice that when I moved that, now this area I didn't like has moved further into the video. I wish the markers moved. They might be able to. It might be me not being able to do it. This is where you go. So let's see how this. There. Hold on. Let's see how this goes. There it is. This is where you go for industrial pumps. That's not bad. That's much better than the ridiculous pause that for some reason I decided to have in there. So we're going to move this over a little bit more to get it out of the way. We're going to keep going. We've got 2 more of these awkward pauses or mess ups before we finally hit our first green marker, which, like I said before, the greens is an entire area with I'm not even sure if I want this in the video. And it'll kind of make sense when we get there. I'll explain it when we do. More water, or some vehicles do require them, and some equipment does too, like extractors and things. You're going to need industrial pumps. You go into Sentinel City, you could probably get 30, 40, maybe 50 if you're lucky. But then you've got to wait for those chests to respawn before you can do it again. The enemies will respawn very quick. Same thing. Strange pause for no reason. I get it. You'll spawn before you can do it again. So we'll cut it. We're going to zoom in. And we'll trim. And we'll play. The enemy. You also want to create, even if you're cutting out like a pause like that, you want to have some space. You don't want it to just suddenly go into the next thing and then it's just constant run-ons. It's natural to have a pause between those. So let's see if we can move this over. And how does this sound now? Do it again. The enemies will respawn. You can do it again. The enemies will respawn very. I think it's all right. It might be a little bit long of a pause, but it's not devastating, so we'll let it go. But those chests will not be openable for a time. But what you can do, especially if you're in dire need of something, is you can see chop, and that's what we're going to do right now. So what was that? That was the lack of English. That was, we're going to see chop. Is you can see chop, and that's what we're going to do right now. This one's going to be a little trickier. I've got to try to cut out a whole part of just non-English speaking. Crash ships down in this area, which is, and I just clicked up here on the timeline instead of over here. So we lost our place. Okay, it's right in here. You can see chop, and that's what we're going to do right now. So what I think I'll do is, it's almost like I'm repeating or saying things twice here. Let's listen. Is you can see chop, and that's what we're going to do right now. I was going to say that's how you can do it, and then I said that's what we're going to do right now. If I can get the out, we can just roll right into the words. That's great that it sounds exactly the same backwards as it does forwards. Is you can see chop, and that's what we're going to do right now. You can see chop. That should be the end right there. So we're going to cut that part out. And that's what we got to go back just a little because I did speed into that word. And let's cut it here and see what it does. We want it to sound as natural as possible. Is you can see chop, and that's what we're going to do right now. Even though there's a quick edit cut, it doesn't sound too bad. Listen to it again. Is you can see chop, and that's what we're going to do right now. I'm okay with that. That actually works for me. It is a little clunky, but you know what? It's better than the So, all right. We got a long way to go before we get to our testing station 163. We're going to run through that, go to the end chest, open it, fly out. Again, that testing station is right here. On our way out, we'll stop off in Mesa Terrill, and I want to point something out to you. Notice that I'm saying I'm going to go to the testing station, go to Mesa Terrill, and I kind of explain it visually so people can, oh yeah, I know what place you're talking about. And then I talk about going to Shoal. One chest with the diamondine / carbide scraps option. And then the final thing I'm going to do is fly straight down through Shoal, because I'm looking for schematics that come out of here in crash ships. So they're the worst as well, because how often do you see them? And what are the chances that you're going to be able to get to that ship once it comes down and get it open before a worm comes to eat it, if you even see it anyway. So I went past the green mark. I kind of like that, hey, I'm talking about going to the ship before it crashes. Is this the paywire version? It is not. This is the 100% free one. I have never paid these guys any money, and it's a shame because everything I've ever done, I built with this. I didn't think there was any company out there that would give you this much ability for free. And I'm telling you right now, this is the most basic thing that I'm doing. This sucker can do crazy stuff. We'll get into some of that, but I'll show you in a second just some of the insanity we can do. But what I'm talking about here, I'm okay with it. And then this is where I started to question. What we're doing is we're flying to the testing station. And I want to know, am I saying enough important stuff during this that it needs to be in the video? Because honestly, I still need to cut this thing down some. We've had taken a few sections out, but nothing of good quantity. So this is a part where I've left my base and I'm flying to that testing station. Everyone's done that. You don't need to watch me fly over to the testing station. It can work if we just cut into me being at the testing station, and that saves us some time. So I did talk a little bit here about the crash ships as well, because how often do you see them? And what are the chances that you're going to be able to get to that ship once it comes down and get it open before a worm comes to eat it, if you even see it anyway? I think
Worm comes to eat it if you
I wish that I paused between worm comes to eat it and then if you, because I want to cut that whole section out. I think we're a little shy on this, but let's see. Not you, Shy. I'm sorry.
to eat it if you it's not world of no they get it open before a worm comes to eat it if you
I think it'll be all right. We'll have to see. But like I said, these clips, you can actually pull it a little bit if you screwed it up and cut too far in. While you're doing this, it's remembering the entire thing. I could actually take one of these clips, drop it to another track, and expand it in both ways, and it would be the entire clip all over again, overlaid above itself. It's insane what it can do. So I fly over here. I'm not actually going to play this part. We talk a little bit, and then we talk about finally figuring it out. We come down here and land. It's not my best landing.
a little oh boy that's choppy. I like to stuck in my own wings.
So I get stuck in my own wings. It happens. It happens to everybody. And I don't mind pointing out that Funcom can't, for some reason, get that part sorted out to where when you get out of your thopter, you get stuck in the wings. And we also do a cute little nod looking over. But is that required? Or would it be better to just save up some space and skip ahead? So that's what I'm going to look at. And you'll notice I've got a marker here where I say something goofy or something bad happens. So let's see what's between this section and if any of this is important enough to keep.
We'll get it sorted out. When I first started doing these testing stations, I like to fight my way in, kind of stay lore accurate. It's you know, these guys are defending it, I'm going to go in there, we're going to fight, get all the way through it. And I still kind of feel that way, but I'm chasing schematics. For the love of God, I've done this testing station at least 30 times. There's multiple items that come out of this chest, and this iron watch is the one thing I don't have. Actually, there's two things, because you can get Storm Rider vehicle piece out of here as well. Unlikely, but you can get it. There's other places to get that one. So my dedication to the lore is gone. I just want to get through this as quickly and as expediently as I possibly can. So that's what we're going to do.
I didn't like that because I said as quickly and as expediently, which is basically saying I'm going to go to the store fast, real fast. Or, you know, that drink was tasty and delicious. Quickly and expediently are the same damn word, you idiot. Meh. So that's the question, is how much of this do we not need? What I would like to do is at least get something of me flying down, but that's what I would do if I didn't have myself up there yapping. I would just skip to the part right here where I'm landing so that you see I'm landing at the testing station, and away we go. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave.
When I first started doing these testing stations, you're kind of my. I don't know. We'll get it sorted out.
I'm going to stop it right here, and we're going to start our edit in this part. And I think I'm going to remove a majority of this. It's just me whining about how many times I have to do this testing station. Is it valid? Is it important?
When I first started doing these testing stations, I don't
like the way I said that, testing stations.
To fight my way in, kind of stay lore accurate. It's, you know, these guys are defending it, I'm going to go in there, we're going to fight, get all the way through it. And I still kind of feel that way, but I'm chasing schematics. For the love of God, I've done this testing station at least 30 times. There's multiple items that come out of this chest, and this iron watch is the one thing I don't have. Actually, there's two things, because you can get Storm Rider vehicle piece out of here as well. Unlikely, but you can get it. There's other places to get that one. So my dedication to the lore is gone. I just want to get through this as quickly and as expediently as I possibly can. So that's what we're going to do. But we head down the stairs, down the little.
I don't know. Hey, yeah, thank you very much, DB. Yep, 1K. Hit that this afternoon. Was really excited
tunnel,
about it.
and off we go. We're going to get stuck on the table, but that's fine.
And you'll notice I didn't mark that as something that didn't need to be in here because I do that crap all the time. I'll get stuck on walls
and
and
friend in here.
doing all that. I did put a marker right here because I made note as I was going through of a respawn beacon, said we might have a friend in here, and we didn't. So I pointed something out that didn't occur.
Time it.
And the rest of this. Oh, here's the problem. I said time it.
So time it. We'll see how long it takes us to get through here.
And then I never came back and talked about the time. I mean, you're kind of watching it, but I thought maybe in this portion I could put like a timer, like a running timer that would go through and do it for us. I still have that option, and I can put that in there. So that might be the route we go. But you guys saw this. We just come through here. Not my best run, but it doesn't take much. This isn't it's not too long. Okay, so I'm going to come all the way out to the part where I am not happy.
45 minutes to an hour before that chest would respawn and I could get it again.
So that was a stutter because I was not doing the wall properly. I'm going to leave it in there. People could see me not do walls properly.
But we're going to cut that time down substantially by siege hopping. On the way out, I'm also going to stop and get one of the chests that has those carbide scraps and diamondine dust, like I had said.
At the time, it made sense for me to say that, but if you're watching along, I already said that. So why am I saying it again? That's why the yellow mark was in there. I one time did a recording of a video, and there was one section where something happened and I didn't like it, so I deleted it, and I went to say it again, and I didn't even realize it, but in the process, I made this statement. Like I said, you want to look for this kind of thing, not realizing that it was several minutes later in the video was the first time I mentioned it. In my timeline, it happened in the past because I'd already gotten past that point and had to come back. But in the video itself, this was the first time I ever mentioning it, which is confusing, you know? So why would I mention this a second time? But what we're going to do here is we're going to go back to the part where I say we're going to siege hop.
But normally it would take anywhere between, like I said, a few minutes up to 45 minutes to an hour before that chest would respawn and I could get it again. But we're going to cut that time down substantially by siege hopping.
Okay, that's where it needs to end. This yellow was a pause for no reason. So I'm going to cut it here. And we're going to take this pause out too.
A few minutes up to 45 minutes to an hour before that chest would respawn and I could get it again. But we're going to cut that time down substantially.
I might leave it.
By siege hopping.
Okay. So
on
here,
the way out, I'm also going to stop and get one of the chests that has those carbide scraps and diamondine dust, like I had said. It'll be on the way, so we'll be fine.
Okay, so I'm going to cut right here. And we're going to take this whole section out of me running up the stairs, getting into the thopter and going. You all know how I got out of here, right? So it's not that important if that goes. And you'll notice I got the blue marks here. And we're going to inline cut it right here. And I'm going to wait.
To the abandoned airfield, so we can grab it from there.
That's not important. I think it's the ruined airfield or air.
That is this place right here. Now, the items that I'm looking for are now, the items that I'm looking for in Shoal is specifically good. We got both carbide scraps and diamondine dust. Nice. Is a shadow hood, not a shaded, but a shadow hood, which comes from a crash ship in this area. And then also there's a multitude of items that we need from crash ships in Seoul.
At this point, I'm about to fly through Shoal and we don't see anything. There's a decent amount of time involved in that. We could either leave that footage in there and you could see me flying through the radiation zone for no reason whatsoever, or I could actually just put a thing up there saying we didn't find any and we move on. So that's what my plan is, at least.
As a precaution, we're going to put on a radiation suit since we're flying through it. I don't know how there's enough room in that cockpit to do what I just did, but I don't make the rules. And we're going to look for a ship.
Right there.
Nothing yet.
You don't need to see that.
Basically, I'm heading straight south until I can get to the overland map. That is how you see child.
That might be important.
I am Naylor. Will be taking coast now. Fly here straight south until I can get to the overland map. That is how you see child. I am Naylor. Will be taking coast now. Fly south until I can get to the overland map. Basically, I'm heading straight south. Basically, I'm heading.
Keep coming in with the basically. I actually want to keep that in there. Let's cut it right here. And we'll see what it sounds like when we start it back up again.
And basically, I'm heading straight south until I can get to the overland map. That is how you see child.
We don't hit the map border until right in around here. And we don't.
But there are no crash ships. And this is actually kind of common. I don't find very many crash ships. And this is actually kind of common. And I can it's in the.
That's good. We identify the fact that there's no crash ships, and let's just go straight to the end here and cut this. And that was an extra cut that we didn't need. And this can go. Okay, so I've got quite a bit of choppiness here. What I'm going to do at this point is we're going to select this area right here. We're going to zoom in on it. And you can go here and delete, and it moves everything over. Ooh, wait a minute. I can't do that. Because that doesn't move my markers. Oh, I'm so sorry. I lied to you all. I don't deserve your viewership. All right, well, we're getting close to the end, so it'll be all right. So we got this red mark here because this is where, after 12 minutes, we're finally going to do what the thing is supposed to, what this video is supposed to be about. Wired! What's going on, buddy? Thank you very much. Thank you. Yep, we hit that today.
Map. But instead of going to like Arakeen, Harco Village, Deep Desert, any other place, or any of those dungeons that are out there, all we're going to do is hit the escape key. And this brings up our options. This is how we would quit the game if we were done for the night. We're going to do this exit to menu. It's going to ask us. We're going to say, yep, we sure do want to.
It says main menu, but that's...
So here, normally when you would log in, you would hit continue. I'm actually going to hit this server button. And what this does is brings up all the servers that I could play on. The one that I'm currently on is here on Odin, and if I click on Odin, you'll see Siege of Beer. And it's got these three symbols. First is a house, then a ship, and then a person. So the house...
I'm glad that this came through, but I'm covering up the siege that I end up going to.
means this is the siege.
There's worse
I live on.
things.
This is where my base is built. The ship here means I've visited that siege. And then the person means that's where I currently am. So I am currently on Siege of Beer. We're going to click on any one of the other ones, in this case Rafana, and just hit the join button. And it's going to load up just like it normally would if we were on Siege of Beer, our normal home world. Puts us in exactly the same spot, and we're just going to go right back into the map.
Now, I could edit some of this because it's quiet time and transitions, but I want to leave it in because for somebody who's doing this the first time, this is what they can expect. That's just kind of
so this is the exact same Haga Basin as what we normally are on when we're on our home siege, except we don't live here. Still in my radiation suit because we're flying through Shoal, and now I'm just going to head straight north. And if we're lucky, there will be a crash ship in this version of Shoal.
Wasn't. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this part out. And we're going to add an effect in there, but not until we can move everything.
But I believe we are not lucky. Imagine that.
Unnecessary.
So, unfortunately, no crash ships, but we're going to head back to the
That's a good entryway. So we'll click there and then we'll play.
So, unfortunately, no crash ships, but we're going to head back to that ruined airfield, which is the chest that we just got those carbide scraps and the diamondine dust from.
Do I really need to say that? You were watching.
Now we're going to see if that chest is there and openable.
Or we could just do it instead of talking about it.
Thought I would catch it, but I did not.
So no conversation going on here. I can actually cut a majority of this out because you don't need it. So that's some more time savings. Let's go back and see. What?
So, unfortunately, no crash ships, but we're going to head back to that ruined airfield, which is the chest that we just got.
Hey, good night, John. Thank you, buddy. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you again. All right? We're going to definitely do another a UE time stream, so it'll be a little better for you again. I'm not sure when, but I will let you know, bud. Thank you.
Thought I would catch it, but I did not. There will be a crash ship in this version.
Okay, so this part we're going to get rid of for sure. And we're going to add an effect in here, and I'll show you that later, but we've got to get everything trimmed out, and then we can slide it over. So for this,
and we come over here.
Okay, I want a little bit more of a landing because that just kind of jumps, and it's like, holy crap, what happened? So we'll move that over. Let's see where it comes in.
None.
That'll work, except I have like this little nut thing because I was speaking.
None.
So what we got to do is zoom way in, and we're going to move this over right about there, and that should get rid of it. What do you think? Right. All right, we'll zoom back out. Boop. And we come over here, and there it is. So we just got 1 diamondine dust and 7 carbide scraps more from the exact same chest, and it only took us a minute or so to do that transition. I can just say to do that. It took us a minute or so to do that transition. That's going to be a tough clip to get that out of there. Do that transition. I think it's right here. Let's try that. We'll cut this and then we'll cut that because that will get rid of that portion immediately. And let's see what this sounds like. To do that. It's a harsh cut, but I went into the word you're a star. It's a harsh cut, but I think we'll be okay. Next, we move back into that testing station. Or a material, whether it's industrial pumps or diamondine dust like that, you can use this method to basically take a chest that you can only. So I like this part. A material, whether it's if you're in dire straits for a material. I'm going to cut it right back here. I don't want the whole dire straits thing because I'm showing my freaking age. We're going to cut that out. Let's see how this sounds. A material, whether it's industrial pumps or that can be good. A material, whether it's industrial pumps. You can use this method to basically take a chest that you can only loot once an hour and get to go to it 20 times. And if you do it, by the time you get through every siege on your server, your original home server has probably reset. You can just start that process all over again. We do not, however, want to run through here in a radiation suit, although we do try to get through as quickly as we possibly can. I'm going to stop right here and I'm going to put a cut. I've already done this, and there's nothing of importance that I really say all the way to the end. So I can cut every bit of this out, which is kind of a shame because this run was so much better than the first run through it. And that's why there's the green mark here, because there's just nothing else in. So we're going to pick it up right here. And I'm going to initiate a cut. Nope, I want to go back a little further. And all of that is going to go. Don't need it. So somebody has been through here. We are tailing someone who conveniently took out, oh wait, you're not dead. Who conveniently took out a whole lot of people. And even though this chest looks like it's not, it's already been opened, it is, but not by us. So we can now pull through. I didn't need improved Reaper gloves. Again, I was looking for the Iron Watch special, but we can continue to do this over and over and over. Just grab this sucker here, head out, cross that border, go in, pick another siege, and come back in, do the same thing over and over again. And this will work on any chest or any item that you have to get from a timed chest, something you can't do over and over and repeat. It makes it a little bit easier to bear that when you're trying to do some of these items that you just don't find many of them, or when you do find them, there's just a tiny little bit. Like I said, you could go through Sentinel City and get maybe 30, 40 industrial pumps, fly straight north, cross into the overland map, chain sieges, go right back in, and you're right back at Sentinel City grabbing more. And that, in a nutshell, is siege hopping. Now, one thing to be careful about, I don't have a base here. Excuse me, I don't have a base here. Normally my humble little abode would be right over here, but it's empty. So make sure that you've got everything you need.
You gotta make sure you have a lot of water. You got welding wire to repair your vehicle so that you can get out here, bounce across as many sietches as possible. Most of the time, what happens to me is my backpack will get full from collecting certain things and a bunch of stuff, and I'll have to head back to my home seats just to drop everything off. But by the time I get back there, my home seats would have been reset, and you could start this process over again and again and again. So, that in a nutshell is siege hopping. Unfortunately, we didn't find any crashed ships, but that happens all the time. So, hopefully, that helps you if you're looking for a specific resource or material or items that only come from certain spots and you have to unfortunately wait for them to reset. This is a good way to increase your probabilities of getting those items. So, thank you for watching and do greatly appreciate it. Like, subscribe, and share. Those things help out the channel. And as always, I'll see you out there. Take care.
Okay.
And that's
Oh, I'll let this play because here.
what we'll do is we'll take that.
This was me
and
still
we'll put it
recording,
into
but
our
now I'm
editing
talking to
program. I'm
to you
still
guys on the
recording too.
stream.
We'll make sure that the audio sounds good.
So none of that needs to be in there. I do have a mark here for the purple thing. So I'm actually going to move this over.
There's a goodly amount of my playtime that is in actuality me. Oh, hey, you know what we should? Know what we should do? We should not be in the radiation. Initiate air need on the shoot.
It was kind of a poopy on my part, but it was funny. If there's time, we'll include it. But if not, there's worse things. All right, so here is that whole video now, and we have cut it down to parts that we feel are the most applicable. So I am going to come here, and we're going to take all those dead spaces out and move everything down. To do that, you click on this, and you hit delete. I don't need to do it on this one, but I do need to remove that. And that. And that. Good section. I love seeing that. Let's see here. Doot, and won't let me select that. And all right, so now our new mark is right about 16 minutes. We were able to cut 7 minutes out of this video just from getting rid of some silliness. Honestly, I like to aim for anywhere between 8 and 12. So we would still have, may I offer a little bit of constructive criticism to the viewer? I would hope so. You can do that at any given moment. I tend to not take things too personally, and criticism is I might feel a certain way about it for a little bit, but if you just give me time, I kind of shake that off and see it. So yeah, absolutely. You can say anything you want, man. But honestly, we got to trim that down some more. That's going to be a little bit too much. 16 minutes, people will look at that and be like, nah. So we can go through here and we'll trim some things down. We may cut this down a little bit and not do a timer. We'll cut out the, time it, and we'll just go through and do this and get it done. So those are the options we have. We're at 16 minutes, and then we come up here and we make sure to save the project since we just did a bunch of editing. I want to show you something. If you watched my tips video, I called it 5 tips at this point because that's how many it was going to be. I don't know what it actually ended up being. It ended up going to 6. This is what this video looks like when you look at it. I got the multiple voiceovers that were annoying. These are all different clips, and these things were shot over days, multiple different days, where I would do like get something and then I wouldn't like it, or I'd go back. I remember this portion where I was talking about the backpack and what my normal loadout is, and what I would do. What I did with this was I hovered around and didn't like the pacing of it, so I actually had to shut this down, go back in the game, start the recording, and then purposely do it while I'm saying in my head the script that I have planned out for it, so that it just kind of ran a little bit better. But yeah, this one has a lot of cut edits. These are how you add in the text. I use the same font for everything. It's basically a channel font. So that's what we do there. But yeah, you could see how crazy things can sometimes get and involved, which is why it takes me longer than I would prefer to get these things done. It's a huge turnoff for me whenever a YouTuber asks for a like or subscribe. If you like your content, I'll like it. I'll subscribe to it. Asking for a like or subscribe isn't going to persuade me. Trying to say this properly. Don't worry, I'm not mad. When I make a thumbnail, in this folder here, aptly titled thumbnails, is all the thumbnails I've ever made. I have the Photoshop version, which has the different layers. And then this is the actual PNG file because I have to export it in order for YouTube to do it. They won't do a Photoshop file. And let's do, actually, this is the one for this stream. Let's go back to this one right here. All right. So this was the thumbnail I made for when I was going back into the dungeons. I did two of them. I did the Electric Dungeon 152, and then we went to the Old Quarry. Personally, and these are my choices. Number one, I will never do a clickbait title. If I do a title, what I say in it is going to happen. Now, that may not be the only thing that happens. You know, if we did this back in the dungeons, I'm going to do at least 2 dungeons, and then I might do something else as well. But whatever I say in the title is going to be there. I'm never going to do a clickbait title, ever. Second thing I'm going to do that I'll never do is a picture of my stupid face making a stupid expression. Where you see that all the time, and it's like, never. Every time I see those things, I'm like, I hate that so much. If you just want to be like you, sitting there, not so bad, whatever. But no, there are now, why do they do that? The reason they say that you should do the face making an expression is because when you see that, it conveys the same thing to you. This guy's very surprised by this, maybe I'll be surprised too. Or this person's thinking really hard about it, maybe I will as well. And it draws you in. It's manipulation. You're manipulating a person's feelings in order to get a reaction, and the reaction you're looking for is to click on the video. Clickbait titles, the same thing. You put something in there, you get the person to watch, and then they you don't give them what they wanted, but it doesn't matter. I still got your like, I still got your watch, I got your view. I watched a video earlier today. It was on Stargate, and I love Stargate, by the way, movies and the shows. And they said on there that it was an alternate ending that was removed. And then it was like 13 things about Stargate that you probably didn't know. And I'm like, haha, challenge accepted. Knew them all. Meh. They never did the alternate ending. That was clickbait. It was BS. So I don't want to manipulate people into watching my stuff. I'm not going to mislead you. I'm going to be upfront. I'm going to be honest. can I say that pictures will always match? Okay, this one does, because we're going into dungeons and we're going here. But if you look at this one, it really has nothing to do with an anniversary event and abandoned vehicles. But I thought it was really cool. I was playing and I got that, so I did the screenshot of it. So maybe my picture doesn't always match, but it's Dune, and that's what we're doing in there. The reason that I always do say that, would appreciate a like and subscribe, and I know you say that it turns you off, but you would actually be surprised because I can see my own metrics at how many people who watch my videos and are not subscribed. And I can also see how many people return and watch another one of my videos because they've seen previous ones and are still not subscribed. That's either them trying to see if they really want to watch me, like if I'm really worth it, like, I kind of like that, I kind of like this, I don't know if I like that, etc. There's also a lot of people will come in and say, oh, I want to, specifically not live streams, but videos. They'll be like, oh, I want to learn how to do this. They'll watch it and they'll be like, oh, okay. And they click off and they go. And they just basically used me and my time to help them get somewhere. The only thing I would ask in return is a like or a subscribe. Say you like the video, you don't have to subscribe. You'd be surprised how many people watch content that aren't subscribed. I am running, I think, 41 point something percent of my content, whether it's stream, video, or short, is watched. No, not shorts, they don't count those. But streams and videos are watched by people who subscribe. The other 50 some percent aren't subscribers. So I'm dropping that little hint. I don't get into it more than just the, if you like the content, drop a like or subscribe. Those things always help out the channel. And then I move on. I don't want to interrupt the video with like an animation or the thing that pops up on the screen because you're supposed to be watching or you're supposedly watching. I do realize like live streams are kind of background content where you kind of do that while you're washing clothes or folding clothes or cleaning the kitchen or whatever. But it kind of goes on that concept of if you don't ask, then it's probably not going to happen. I may have subscribed after you mentioned it a bit back because I always forget about that. That is a good point, and that is true. Sometimes people just don't think of it, and that slight little reminder is helpful. Now, for you, as somebody who is already a subscriber, every time I say that, you're like, dude, I know. Why do you think I'm here? You don't know this by now? But you also have to realize that when I'm we'll let you in on secret stuff. Get my channel banned. Um, you know what? Screw it, guys. We're just gonna do it, man. I don't know if I can get in trouble for this. I don't think I can. Here was my tips video, right? 1.5K views, posted 3 days ago. So let's click on it. So when I had, and I'm gonna stop it right there. No, I can't do this. We have to go here. And we go here. And then we'll go to content and we'll find it again. That was under videos, tips for playing Dune, right? Let's take a look. Engagement. Audience. Yeah, silly. Watch time from subscribers. That video has 1.5K views and only 16% of those views were people who subscribed, which means 84% of the people who watch that video are not subscribed. And this will update. Let's say half of these people decide, oh, shoot, I forgot to subscribe to that guy. This number would go up. That's why I say it. I know that asking at the end isn't nearly as bad as asking at the start. That's also a good point. I don't agree with, hey everybody, hope you're doing well. How you doing? Today we're going to talk about this. Like, subscribe. Also, though, take a look at this. Oh, I just had it. Before I get there, look at how crazy this thing is, right? This tells me that 12 people subscribed to the channel just off of this video alone. 668 unique viewers. It tells me if you were on a computer, a mobile phone, or a tablet. It tells me whether you're male or female. This always comes up 0, so it tells me that certain people, Shiala, may not be watching my content. I'm sure it's a much lower percent. It's a percentage of something. It tells me age breakdowns, whether it's subtitles English. I get some French, a little bit of tiny French, and some Polish people that watch. Here it tells me the areas I go in, so it gives you so much information. There you go. Average view duration 8 minutes and 8 minutes and 10 seconds. All right, and that's more than usual. It's 2 minutes more than usual. Typically, I only get 4.5 to 5 minutes worth of view retention. So if I say it at the end, most of the people who've already clicked off the video aren't even going to see that part. I figure that if you made it to the end, it's worth saying it at the end, because if you made it there, you've got a good chance at liking the content. I I don't have a persona. The person you're seeing right now, I'm more talkative than the person who's off camera. If Mrs. Rabbit were here and you asked her, she'd be like, yeah, you don't talk to anybody. I am a relatively quiet person, especially in public situations. If I know people, I'm a little more talkative, but I would be considered the quiet guy in a group or in a crowd. I'm just kind of there. So maybe this is a persona because I'm way more comfortable speaking with all of you guys. The thing about that though is I know you're there, but you're not really there. Do you know what I mean? I'm not trying to be mean because I'm sitting in here a room with a cat on the floor. If we piled all of you guys into this room right now, I'd be not even remotely as good as I am right here. If somebody watches my content and they say, "Oh, dude," type out a comment, be like, yeah, this gameplay sucks." I'm glad that they said that because they're probably going to leave, and I want them to. Not because I'm mean. It's just because my content's not for them. They're not going to enjoy anything I do. And if they're not going to enjoy what I'm doing, there's no point in being here. Go somewhere else. Go find somebody else that you do like. I get comments often, especially on older videos, where I'll get comments where people will be like, "Why are you still playing this game?" Or, "Oh, the best thing to do is to quit playing this game because the devs are terrible and they're horrible." And I don't really engage with those people. I don't want to because they're just coming here and complaining that they don't like the game, and then they'll move on. If you don't like it, that's fine. If you don't have to. I was thinking about this story earlier. I look at that as like Brussels sprouts. Mrs. Rabbit loves them. She loves Brussels sprouts. If we go to a place that has them, she's excited. I would rather eat out of my cat's litter box than eat a Brussels sprout. I can't stand those things. I haven't liked them since I was a child, and I'm a grown damn man. What's the problem? Is it Brussels sprouts? No, it's me. It's my preference, and it's her preference. Brussels sprouts are the same between the two of us. She likes them. I don't. That's the same way with content. If you like what I do, come back and watch more. If you don't, go somewhere else. No one's angry. No one's feelings are hurt. I don't expect me to be able to be like, hello, I got a video here, and why isn't 10 billion people watching? I thought that happened to you once. You were polite, carried on, and they ended up leaving. Exactly. They just came in here and if I'd have responded, that's what they were here for. They want you to argue. They want to be like, yeah, I got you. Oh, you triggered, using all the things. Angry baby carriages. You see, IP, Mrs. Rabbit would agree with you. I don't know. She'll do boiled too. That woman's kind of disgusting. I love her to death though, so I'll deal with it. But Brussels sprouts. I'm actually getting a tongue curl thinking about Brussels sprouts. So we got to stop talking about them. Uh, but if it's not for you, it's not for you. Go ahead and move on. But like I was showing you there with the stats, I mean, 80% of the people that watched, 80% out of 1,500 aren't subscribed to the channel. So that's why I say it. I understand why you don't like it, like because you see it like, dude, I'm already here, or obviously, or if I wanted to, I would. But sometimes you do have to mention it, and it's just to kind of remind people. But I try not to focus too much on it. I haven't had much professional help as far as this channel goes. I did sign up with a service that did some channel reviews, and that didn't go as well as I thought it was going to. Uh, they weren't thrilled with my work. Confirmed kryptonite, yes. Uh, um, and I remember when I got the review, it was people who did gaming channel reviews, and they looked at my channel and they said, okay, what's the first Descendant? And I'm like, okay, well, that's the game that I'm playing. And they had no idea what it was. I didn't mean to imply you asking is wrong. It's just offering my opinion as a viewer of many channels. Okay, that's fine, dude. That's fine. I just wanted to, whether I'm right or wrong, I don't know. But the reason I do it is because sometimes you just have to drop a hint to people. And sometimes I don't do it. Sometimes I won't even mention that part. I'll just be like, all right, we're heading out. We're going. But no, dude, you can, at any given time, you can share your opinion, even if it's to tell me I'm a piece of crap. We're not that kind of channel. I'm not going to sit here and talk over and scream and yell and argue. But I appreciate your honesty, and you know what? It's helpful. But yeah, those people that reviewed my channel, and they were unkind, and I felt a certain way. I really did. And I remember that I was waiting to see if they would, because you submit your channel and they review, and I'm watching. I'm like, dude, I got to go to the grocery store. And they picked me. I was like, oh, great. And then they kind of thrashed me a little bit. And then I went to the store, and the whole way there, I was pissed. The whole way there. And I'm walking around, and I live in a nice little rural community. Everybody knows everybody and all that. They probably wondered why I was walking around with a twisted look on my face. But yeah, I felt a certain way. And then I started thinking about it, and I was like, some of the things that they said, I can dismiss outright. Like, they didn't know what the game was, so they didn't know what the point of the video was. Well, the point of the video was highlighting how to build a specific character in order to go through current content. They didn't know any of that, so they just thought it was me playing. Like, okay, well, you're just showcasing what you're doing with this character. I'm like, no, I'm actually showing you what I'm doing, and they didn't even have the audio on, so they didn't hear me talking. But they did do kind of like some pointers and some audits about what my thumbnails look like, what my descriptions were, and that was really good advice. And by the time I was coming home from the store, I had ideas, and I was like, okay, I'm going to go home and I'm going to make a change to this. You can actually look that up if you want to scroll through my videos. You'll see a point where I completely changed the concept of my thumbnails. They go from the logo that I have, the rabbit on there, to a much different style. And they pointed out that, what are you trying to promote? Are you trying to promote your video, or are you trying to promote your logo? Because that's what is drawing everyone's attention. I was kind of using it as a replacement for the dumb look expression face, but to a whole group of people that were reviewing, and I looked at the chat on that site.
tell you wrong about Brussels sprouts. The wifey's always right. Well, we get our way through it, man. You know, we can't all be perfect, and I'm not. She is, but I'm not. So, you know, from July 1st through August 1st, all power generated turbines will run twice as long and the same amount of consumables. This will help keep your base powered until the end of the summer. Okay. But, so that video, it's going to take a little bit more effort. I'll do some moving around, some shaving down a little bit more, and we'll get hopefully closer to 12 minutes. I'm still thrilled that I don't have to do the audio, but here's another point I want to make. That was the first time that I've ever used OBS to actually do video footage. There's a setting in OBS where you can have it set up to where it records video on a video track and then audio on an audio track. One of the problems I have with the video we're doing is you'll hear bumping sounds every so often. One of the things that was causing my microphone a problem was I had the manufacturer's software has the filters on it so that when you touch it, it doesn't come back as loud distortion. It was gain filters and things like that, and that was conflicting with the system itself and with OBS, so I had to get rid of all that stuff, do a bunch of firmware updates. But as you can see, we're still able to talk, and it's stayed on. Now that I said that, it'll shut off because, of course, why wouldn't it? But I don't have the ability to change the audio level on that recording without changing the game audio level as well. When I do a video like this, I would do this right now, I can go in and make the game quieter and my voice louder so that you can hear me over crazy stuff happening. I don't have that ability with the one that we just made. So that's kind of a live and learn. But I looked it up. I was like, hey, can you split audio and video tracks? And it said, yeah, you can. Here's how to do it. So now I can go in there and set it, and next time I do this, I'll have that option. That's kind of how I've learned. Kind of fumbled my way through by making mistakes. Never be afraid to fail. That's one of the best ways to learn. We won. I don't agree. The refining contract's cool. This does nothing for me, but if there's people out there that would need it, I would vote for it. And melee damage, this actually would be pretty good. This would help. I wouldn't mind picking up 33% damage doing testing stations. I got to get back into them. Either one of these are good. I'm still waiting for vehicle. I haven't seen vehicle in weeks. Weeks, man. I don't need any more hummingbird wings. But I have to do something because we are maxed. And if I don't do missions tonight, then I'm wasting 5 of them. That could be bad. I don't think I should do that. Well, I'm actually going to call it here a little early. I have to switch my laundry because I had to wash my work clothes, and I'm a mechanic by trade. So, and nobody needs to be touching my work clothes but me. They're already filthy, so am I. So I usually throw them in there before we hit the shower. But I got to get them in the dryer, otherwise I'm going to have to go to work tomorrow in my underwear. I don't think that won't be good. Nobody needs to see that. I think I need to go to the store because I used all the coffee, and Mrs. Rabbit, she's working late tonight, but when she gets home, that won't matter. But boy, in the morning, I better not be here if I use all the coffee. Saving all my sand for the Resource Weekly perk. It's funny when you look at this, right? Repair costs and refining times are reduced by 75%. Dude, once that kicks in and you actually do it, holy cow, you can make like a batch of spice in 9 minutes. That's like, ooh, are you kidding me? Yeah, they're really good. And especially if you've been storing stuff up. If you're at the point where you've got the materials you need and a little extra, so everything that you're getting just sits and waits, this is huge. I filled up the plastanium boxes that I have downstairs. I filled those up with one of the weeks that we had the bonus construction or bonus processing. And yeah, I just filled this thing up and and away it went. So that was really awesome. Okay, so we are going to call it a night here, a little early, but hey, it's an off night, and I wanted to just show you guys what it's like to do some of the editing. I am by no means an expert. There have been a lot of people on YouTube who do videos about Resolve and how to use it, and I didn't even really show you guys any of the effects or the overlays, transitional things. But I've learned a lot, and there were a lot of people who have done content just like me, but they've done it about DaVinci Resolve that I was able to learn from. And it was, you know, I'm a mechanic who likes playing video games and likes helping people. And they are also one of the reasons, those individuals, not only the software manufacturers, but the people that do tutorials about it, are another reason why I'm able to do what I do. And they deserve at least some shout outs for that. Jamie does tons of content on DaVinci Resolve. The only problem I have with him is he would be like with this, he'd be like, so when I come over here, I put all this stuff into the boxes and I put them directly over the thing that I'm gonna need afterwards. Now let's go out and go get some of those resources. And you're like, whoa, dude, you are going so fast. Made me wonder sometimes if I'm going slow, but I see a lot of times in the comments they'll be like, you're going too fast, slow down. He's been doing it for a decade, so he clicks through. Another reason why you see me not using hotkey shortcuts very often, because you know, when you go in there and you do hotkey stuff, like we'll go here and we'll, oh, the power's off, so where you can go down there, hit the space, hit A, hit, you know, whatever. I prefer to let you see on the screen rather than keyboard attachments. But anywho, yeah, I'm gonna call it a night here. Gave you some behind the scenes, gave some shout outs, and just did some general talking, which is kind of nice because normally it's just me rambling on about Dune. But it's pretty cool to be down here. I wouldn't have thought, well, let me say that I had a very high opinion of myself going into video creation. I thought I was cool and awesome. I am charming and naturally funny, but I thought it would be easier than it was, and it's a lot harder than I thought. And I'd be lying if I said there weren't times where I didn't want to do it anymore. And I thought, you know what, let's just stop, because you're dedicating so much time and so much effort, especially in the early days when I didn't understand the programs very well, and I would struggle through stuff, and it took me forever to get anything done. And then the more I learned, the better it was. But of course, you know, I got a full-time job, I got a family, I got a life, I got all that stuff, and it was just so hard to try to fit the time to make content, to learn how to make content, to get all this stuff. So you know, it can be overwhelming, it can be hard, but I am really glad that I stuck with it and gotten to the point that I'm at now. What does 1K get me? Well, it is the final step of monetization as far as YouTube goes. That means now when I do videos and you get to see an ad for a Shark vacuum or some type of auto parts store or whatever, there's a chance that a little bit of that money from the advertiser gets to come to me since I created the channel. Now it's just been going to YouTube every time you see it. The challenge there is they don't pay very much. It's only a few dollars for every 1,000 views. So if you make a video that gets 1,000 views, you'll get a couple bucks. But if you make a video that gets 100,000 views, you know, you get a couple $100. So do I think that's even remotely in my cards? No. I do content strictly on Dune. There are just simply not enough players in Dune for me to be doing that much. But luckily I have a, you know, regular employment. So this is just for funsies and for helping people. And like I said,
Weather alert. A large sandstorm is approaching.
I'm content if it just kind of pays for itself. I'm good with that. We're going to stick with Dune for quite a while. I'm still got a bunch of stuff to do. I'm still having fun. And most of my viewership comes from this game, so obviously we got to stay there. What does the future hold? The most I can say right now is Fable. When Fable first came out, I loved that game. Me and my whole family, even Mrs. Rabbit, played that game. I have it as Steam. The originals. Well, they're the remastered versions, but yeah, the originals I have in my Steam, and I thought about firing them up and playing them. But they're coming out with a new Fable. Not this year, I don't think. I think it's going to be early 2027. And I might actually get in early and try to sign up for some beta of that stuff. I'm really excited about that game. In defense, I was really excited about Marathon. I was hoping that Bungie would redeem themselves after they just kind of let Destiny 2 wither and die. And I was like, all right, I get it. You're putting a lot of effort into Marathon, so that's going to be cool. And I remembered the original Marathon, tell you how old I am. And they just really dropped the ball on that. Battlefield 6, loved the Battlefield games. I've always been more of a Battlefield player than Call of Duty, but I have played both of them, and I'm really not excited about either. So we just keep getting these promises or little glimmers of hope, and then it just doesn't work out. So the most anything right now that I'm looking forward to is Fable. Old man, heck yeah, buddy. Chicken Chaser. That's coming. Now I'm thinking that might be tomorrow's stream, man. We might do some Fable tomorrow, in case you don't know what it is. But I'm just really hoping that maybe I shouldn't be looking forward to that game, because I'm striking out on games I'm looking forward to when they actually get released. But yeah, that's what the future holds for us, as far as I can tell. If something amazing comes out, who knows? A little upset with Funcom that we don't have a cross-play option when the console release happens. But honestly, for me and for my channel, it may not be so bad. A huge influx all at once of brand new players. They're going to have a whole slew of old questions. So we might be pumping out a lot of content that deals with things that us as a group don't do very much. I like now do most of the videos and stuff I do is trying to help people do something more efficiently, or kind of try to explain it. But I still don't go back to the beginnings, like do you remember the days when you couldn't stray too far from a field of flowers because you die from the heat? That's crazy. Until you found your first liter, John, that you could actually drink from. Oh my goodness. Those were the days. Remember getting your butt kicked by everybody because you didn't have armor, you didn't have a shield? Find your love where you can. Yeah. It's not been good. It's been a lot of disappointments as far as gaming goes. There were a lot of things that I was hopeful for. I was hopeful for Destiny 3. I stopped playing Destiny 2 towards the end, just because it irritated me, and that's how I roll. If you don't like doing something, stop doing it. So I stopped doing it, and we went to other stuff. First Descendant was a great game, had so much potential, but then I feel like they just took a wrong turn, and they went to a money option and skimpy outfits, and I'm like, guys, you have a great game here that you can actually like. Playing the game is really cool, but the best you can do is put people in swimsuits. Come on. Last caretaker for a while. Really? What made you stop, if I might ask? Bungie got cheap, and started doing the rubber banding, and every season was an exact carbon copy of the last one. They just changed the people. Like you go talk to this guy instead of this guy. And then I didn't like the fact that the raids became so mechanically methodical. Dune made me stop. All right, there you go. All right, fair enough. I was drawn to this game because the ornithopter. Dude, I wanted to fly an ornithopter. That's my goal. That's what we did. That's what we did. Call of Duty, I enjoyed DMZ, more of a survival extraction shooter, and it's odd, I'm not much on extraction shooters. I'm totally fine. Somebody made a comment on one of my earlier videos. It's weird because I'll do a video and it'll be like months later and somebody will see it for the first time and they'll comment on it and it pops up and I'm like, what? Oh my God, oh, you watched that? Oh, okay. I don't shy away from PvP. Oh, I was in the Crucible all the time in Destiny 2. Holy cow. Not just the Crucible, but Iron Banner and Trials. Oh my gosh, couldn't get enough of Crucible. And Call of Duty, I did the extraction shooter. The multiplayer is just kind of a fun chaos. There's really no, in my view, there's no end point. Like you're just going in and let's see what my score is this match. Let's see how I do this match. Let's see what happens here. And you just drive on. The only thing that's drawn me away from Dune has been Dreamlight Valley. And that was only back in October for the Halloween event. I have not heard that. Aeon 2. I haven't heard that either. Honestly, I don't pay attention. I'm an idiot in that aspect. Maybe that's why I can't find a game I like to play because I only watch for like one or two. That's why I stopped playing Destiny. And then even though I did PvP stuff in Call of Duty when they ended the DMZ and went to zombies, I was kind of like, not really a zombies fan. I did do a lot of content on the previous zombies they had. Once they went to the round-based version, I stopped playing that. It just got annoying. Then I went to First Ascendant, and then they just went the Gunner route. So I was like, okay, well, don't go where I can't follow, Mr. Frodo. And then we ended up here. No, we went to Battlefield, and then we ended up here. Battlefield 6 was okay. It felt less like a Battlefield game and more like kind of a Battlefield Call of Duty hybrid. And if I want to play Call of Duty, I'll play Call of Duty. If I want to play Battlefield, I'll play Battlefield. I don't need a mix between the two. But we've enjoyed our year here. We built a channel on it. Dreamlight Valley is a cozy Disney game. It's not for everybody. You know what? Cozy games are good sometimes. Hold on one second. You can't even see that. Yeah, you might know what that is. Tell me and Mrs. Rabbit spend some quality time. We'll go play Pokemon Go together. There's a funny story. I went to a park. Mrs. Rabbit was working. I went down to the park because I needed to do some stuff. And I went down there and I was like, oh man, there's actually quite a few people here. And here I am, an old man playing Pokemon. And she was like, it's a park. You're allowed to be there. F them. That's what she said. And I was like, yeah, it's mostly kids. So I'm not going to do that. But I am definitely getting looks. So I told her, I was like, next time we'll go down here, we got to go together. Looks like a cute couple. But yeah, comfort games, dude. That's why we play games. That's why we do what we do. So I don't game shame. Like with First Descendant, if there's people who are really into the Gunner aspect, go for it. It's just not for me, so I didn't like it. Oh, the rural stop desert. I get you. I get you. I've got to go. There's a couple spots, like two, that are relatively close. Then there's three that are a little bit farther away, but still close. And then I got to go about 20 minutes before I can get to something really big. It's funny because Mrs. Rabbit needed me to play because she had a party. She had to do party tasks, so she had to be in a party. And she's like, "There's no one around here I know that plays." So she's like, "You got to turn your game on." So I was like, "Okay." So I started doing that, and then of course that got me hooked back into it. But yeah, that's why it started. She just wanted to get party challenges, which she got done because I'm there for her. But anyway, yeah, don't ever be ashamed or sad or anything of what you do. If you're having fun, you're not hurting anybody, rock on. Tomorrow we're gonna get back into straight up Dune. Honestly, it's Friday, so I have absolutely no idea what I'm gonna do. But I guarantee you we could find some kind of trouble to get into. If you have questions or want to see something done, by all means, throw it in the comments. I kind of try to shy away from that because one thing that helps your channel is if there's a lot of comments going on. So I try not to do the whole, throw it up into the chat because it looks like I'm fishing for interactions, which I'm not, but it is a way for us to communicate. But I have 6 pole tops and 2 chips right here by my house because of my own submission efforts. It's a 6-block walk. So you're level 50 so that you're allowed to submit, huh? I just crossed that line. I stopped playing 4 years ago, I think, and then got back on, but I have crossed the 50 mark, so I could request things, but when I had those bad storms that kept taking my power out, our cell service has not been the same since. Right now I'm on my Wi-Fi at home. I work 10 miles away, and for half of that trip, my cell phone doesn't work. It's just no service and it's dead. So that doesn't work too well for Pokemon Go when you leave the house or you leave your Wi-Fi areas. So, anywho. But yeah, if you have ideas, by all means, drop them in the comments. You can also, if you look at my channel description, I have my email address in there. I would love to talk to people. I started talking to some people. Solo crawling a medium field while the worms patrolling is something I want to see someone do. I know how to crawl, but with a worm constantly annoying me. Have a good one, Wire Dude. Thank you. Appreciate it, and you take care as well. Solo crawling a medium field with a worm patrolling. We're going to put that in the list. That's all I ever do is solo crawl. I have somewhere. Oh, this. This is like a removable drive. This is 2 terabytes. And when the computer starts to get a little full with video files, because they're big, and like I said, that editing file keeps them multiple copies, so it can get a little crazy. I drop them off to this, and I've got some decent footage of worms flying past me as I'm down on the ground while they're patrolling. And I think I was messing with them the other day, just testing the new skill sets I have, because I've got some of the worm threat reductions, and I was like, let's see what we can do here. But yeah, we'll put that in the list. I haven't actually been out in the deep desert since I went out and did the one testing station that I was at last night. We might go ahead and do those as well if we're going to go out in the deep desert. Might be worth it. I don't have a base out there, but I don't think I'm gonna. Oh, I don't think I'll make one. Spice is the only thing I'm really missing. I went out there and grabbed tons of plastanium and the ingredients, and then I didn't make anything. I didn't make anything yet. I'm still doing research on whether or not crafting lower level gear and throwing some augments on them is worth putting in the market. I would love to do that, to drop that to some of what's the proper word? Lower level players, I guess would be the best way to say it. A good way to get gear and equipment to them, and it'll use up some of the resources that I don't need to, what am I going to do with them? I know I could break them down, but nah. But yep. So thank you so much for watching, everybody. I greatly appreciate it. We're going to continue the celebrations. It's actually going to really culminate on Saturday. I was unbelievably unprepared to break the 1K mark today. You know what? I got talking about that stuff. The other reasons that 1K matters is there's a lot of game companies that want active channels to help promote stuff, and I can get to participate in some of those. I actually already had offers, but they weren't anything I was interested in, so I didn't take up the offer. I didn't pursue it. It's game types that I don't play and I don't feel like learning, so I declined those. That's another thing about my channel. There's a guy I watch, Milo. He does archaeology videos and everything. He's got a really huge channel, like 3 million followers. And usually once a month he puts a video out about something. He's very creative, very good creator. Great sense of humor. He will not do a sponsorship because, as he puts it, you guys don't need to come watch my channel to see me trying to peddle some crap that I don't even care about. So sponsorships, yeah. I will say there are some things like I freaking love my mouse. Having this mouse changed my game. I still gotta get the get it a little more sensitive. If the people that make my mouse wanted me to do a sponsorship, I'd jump on that in a heartbeat. My microphone, we've had problems. We've had problems. So sorry. But yeah, we don't, it at least opens up possibilities. And if there's something really good, I'm hoping that when that Fable comes along, maybe they might look to Jackrabbit to get some early opinions. I don't know if they're going to want that, because I guarantee you I will be honest. I won't be nasty, but I will be blunt. So we'll see. Mini Minute Man. Oh my gosh, Valentine, did we just become best friends? I think we just became best friends. Yeah, he is great. Oh my gosh, I love him. I love that. His most recent video when he started, when he opened his beer. Yeah, you can hope for Atlantis. It ain't coming soon. We had what? Buc-ee's. We had the Great Raft. We had all sorts of things before that. I'm like, I live in the Northeast. I'm not quite as far up north as he is, but he's doing a tour in October, and I'm not that far from New York or from Philly, so I'm thinking about it. Not sure, but yeah, Mini Minute Man. That is awesome. There we go. All right, guys, I gotta go before we get too late. I am going to log off here, and then I'm actually going to hang out and pick on some Harkonnen people while they're trying to do the stuff they're doing. That's over on DV's channel. The link's in the description. It's the Good Noodles. I was asked about that, on why I call them Good Noodles, and I think I got to put it in my description. I make a ton of movie references. Not only in my descriptions, but it's in the things I say as well. I end all of my descriptions with the fact that I'm going to go misbehave, which is a Serenity reference. One of my favorite lines from Malcolm Reynolds, when he's telling everybody, if you don't want to come with me, this is your port of call. You need to get off here because I aim to misbehave. So Yeah, I do a lot of movie references and show references, and the reason I call them good noodles is because of an episode of SpongeBob when he was in driving class, and they had the board, and when you did something good, or if you were good, then you got a star by your name on the good noodle board. So check those out. I think DV does 8:30 ish most days of the week, and Old Man Alchemist is an early morning one. He's usually right after 1 o'clock or noon, 1 o'clock. He's on, so he keeps me company when I'm working. Shiny, shallow. You don't have to be any more impressive than you are, okay? Um, but yeah, Old Man Alchemist. He does usually in the afternoons. Um, I was looking forward to his stream today because I had a meh day work wise, and sometimes it's good to just put that on and zen out and do what I'm doing. But he wasn't able to stream today, but he said he's going to be on tomorrow. So 1 o'clock tomorrow, I'll be checking him out. And yeah, we're going to wait 20 minutes and then we're going to go mess with Harkonnens and say horrible things to them. By the way, I want to point out that even if you're a fan of just the movies, books, game, or lore, there are no good guys in this game. We are all bad people. The closest thing to a good guy, I would say, in my opinion, are the Fremen in the first book until the very, very end. Because they're just people trying to defend their home. But everyone else is trash in this. We're all horrible, terrible people manipulating anybody. If you think Atreides are good guys, answer me one question. The Atreides homeworld prior to Arrakis was Caladan. How many members of the royal family are there? 3? Running a whole planet? Leto didn't have any brothers or sisters, aunts or uncles, cousins. He's got no relatives. There's a whole lot of stabby stabs going on where none of us are good guys. Except for me. I'm pretty decent. I have my moments. Well, I'm not bad. Firefly. SpongeBob is best. SpongeBob is great. A grown man. My kids, they're all adults, but when they were kids was right around the time SpongeBob was becoming like super popular, and it was on, and the kids are spaced out to the point where when the oldest got tired of watching SpongeBob, then the middle kid would watch it, and once the middle kid got to the point where they didn't care, our youngest was watching. So it never ended, you know. But we're huge anime, cartoon, movie, and show people here, so that's where the references come from. We're not horrible people. We're just people. People with the potential to be nothing but water. All right. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I greatly appreciate it. I'll see you tomorrow where we're going to have more fun. And then I've got some big plans for Saturday, which was supposed to be the actual celebration of hitting 1K, but we did it a little early. So we're kind of playing it by ear. But thanks again. And as always, I will see you out there. Take care.